think everybody knows what simulator games are, like my goat Power Wash Simulator. And all the other boring ones that make me fall asleep. But we're not talking about those games today. Today we're talking about simulator games. You see the parentheses? That makes it different. For those of you who don't know what a simulator game is, it's a game where it replicates a real-world situation or a job in a realistic way. Simulator games are games that do the same, but usually with a comedic twist, such as purposely bad physics or bad controls. Think like Human Fall Flat, where the controls are bad, but it's part of the design of the game, not just because the dev doesn't know how to code. And I know this is coming from someone whose best code is this. Point being, take every negative of this video with a grain of salt because this already isn't my favorite genre. That being said, let's get into it. So you know Payday? Yeah, it's that, but you'll never get what the twist is. Given that you only have one arm, you might be thinking, how do you rob a bank? And the answer to that is going to be your new best friend, the duffel bag. This is how you do practically everything in this game, well, unless you want to run a marathon every robbery. Thankfully, the devs were nice enough to allow your guns to be their own thing, so you don't have to worry about carrying them around too. There's two ways to play this game. You either go full guns blazing and play it like it's COD, or play stealthy and pretty much just play a puzzle game. Both are fun, but personally I like the stealthy mode more. If you decide just to not to care and blatantly rob the place, the police will show up and slowly ramp up. Ramp up like Fortnite Lamau. Starting with just regular police, then into a SWAT team, and eventually they'll bring out people with shields and other stuff. It gets pretty crazy, but the only real downside is eventually the game just spawns in so many that you just get swarmed and it's impossible to win. But if you want to play a Roblox level shooter, fine enough job at it. If you decide to play the game stealthy, then you can say goodbye to your AR because it's way too loud. You're going to be getting around by either just sneaking around the guards or using your suppressed pistol and taking them out. If you do decide to use your pistol, they'll drop a phone and you have 15 seconds to get it to a check-in point. If you don't get their phone to a check-in in time, you might as well just restart or pull out your AR and get to work. Since we live in the age of technology, there is more to it than just sneaking around the guards. There's also cameras, and you deal with that by either just biting the bullet and shooting the camera and then taking out the guard that comes to check on it, or you find the security room and take out the person in the security room. So either way, it's practically impossible to do this as a clean job. On every map, you'll have to take out the power somehow. If you decide to go guns blazing, there'll be 3 to 4 power boxes that you have to hotwire while holding off the police. But now if you go stealthy, there's only one central power that you have to shut off, and it's technically easier if you don't count all the sneaking around. But once you actually get into the vault, you'll definitely have to take multiple trips because, well, getting money out is definitely easier if you decide to go stealthy because you already have a defined path of getting in and out. Or if you go guns blazing, you're just kind of screwed because you can't fight back while holding a bag. I almost forgot to mention, but this does have a multiplayer mode, and like any video game ever, it is more fun with friends, but it also makes everything a lot more hectic and almost practically impossible to do stealthy. But overall, I think this is a pretty fun game, and it's worth trying, especially for the low price of free $99, so go play it after you finish this video. I really wanted to be positive with this game, but I didn't really like it. But you know what? I'll try. I'll really try. I will say, though, I did really like the character creator, and you can probably make some funny little guys if you took the time to care. Unfortunately, I don't. So there's 2 different modes in this, like the other game. Free play or progression play. I'm like 90% sure the only difference is that in free play, you have everything unlocked from the start. So honestly, there's not really a wrong answer in which mode to play. I decided to do progression play just for a little structure, and because why not? Which makes you save up money to buy new vehicles and missions in the different areas of the map. The map's pretty big in this game, so there's a lot to unlock, but there's also 2 problems that come with that though. It does just kind of seem like they copy and pasted the same missions all over the place, so it gets a little boring if you just play for a while. You've raced through these hoops, carry this random object to a slightly out of the way place, or launch this stupid fish with the worst controlling launcher ever. We'll get into that later. The other big issue I had with the map is that it had an extreme amount of pop in the entire time I was playing. Take that with a grain of salt though, because I am like horrendously bad at changing my settings to make things run better. I can't care to. And all the other gameplay I've seen doesn't really have pop-in, so it should be fine for you. Hey, Editor Connor here. I was looking through the footage when I saw there's pop-in for the official trailer of the game, so I guess pop-in is just a thing. Anyways, also I kind of have to mention that this game did blue screen my computer, which once again, probably completely my fault, but I did want to mention it because it caused me to lose a bunch of footage, which is probably why I'm reusing a lot of clips. Also, while we're talking about things not working during the tutorial, apparently there's like a fart button, but I tried everything. I couldn't get it to work, and I even went through, like, looked through the settings. I didn't even see it anywhere, so either it's a joke that went over my head or they just forgot to program it in, so I don't know. I have one more thing to rant about quick, and then we can move on, but the vehicle controls are just horrendous. Like, I think it's one thing, like a static vehicle, like a crane or something, yeah, having bad controls is kind of funny, but when you're in a car going 80 miles per hour zooming down a street, I kind of want my steering wheel to work when I steer it. And, you know, I'm really not trying to just hate on this game, because I think you're supposed to play it with friends, and I didn't do that. I mean, all the marketing is in multiplayer, and I honestly do think this would be a really fun multiplayer game, but as a single player experience, I just can't get behind it. Like, do I think this game is bad? No, but it's definitely not for me. You guys remember that game I was talking about probably 3 minutes ago? I'd hope Brain Rot isn't bad enough yet, or you wouldn't remember that. Anyways, this game is also like One-Armed Robber, the whole gimmick being that you still only have one arm, but this time you're running the small business instead of robbing it. This is kind of the prequel to One-Armed Robber, or at least it came out first, and I would have talked about it first, but I didn't for one simple reason, and that's because this game isn't very good, and I didn't want to open this video of just shitting on two games. So, also, I'm pretty sure this is the devs' first game, and obviously they reached higher heights, so I'm not gonna shit on this too much, but I gotta be honest. Do not play this game single player. It is actually one of the most boring things you can do. Like, it's a pretty accurate just 9-to-5 simulator, so if you want that, play this game. Honestly, the fun in this game comes from just messing around with your friends. I wouldn't be surprised if this game's inspired by Overcooked, just because they share a lot of similar mechanics, but then again, I don't really know how else you'd make a cooking game. I feel like the dev was still like trying to figure out how to get items to stick together, because unlike One-Armed Robber, putting things in the place you want to put them is a 50-50 gamble if it'll actually go there or just completely miss and you can't do anything about it. It's cool that there's a bunch of different maps, but honestly, it's hard to make any progress on any of them just because the controls are that bad. And it's just simply more fun to mess around. Just order a bunch of random stuff, put a rat on a table and watch it bug out. But once again, this game is free, so you're not really losing anything by trying it. So you might as well, because you might like it more than me. I just wasn't really a fan of this gameplay loop. I wanted to end this video off with a banger, so I'm going to stretch the rules just a little bit, because this one doesn't really count, but it's my video, so I can do whatever I want. Anyways, Totally Accurate Battleground Simulator is a game where you make armies and fight other armies. There's a campaign mode where you actually have to use your brain and strategize, or there's a free play mode where you can just spam 2 giant armies and see what happens. With a little over 130 different troop types, you could really play this all day. And one of the funniest parts of this game is just having a really overpowered troop wipe out like a massive army of just like awful people. Honestly, I think the campaign's a little underrated because I only ever see people play the free play mode. But I had a lot of fun trying to figure out how to win battles, and half the time I'd win battles I probably shouldn't have. Also, I'm not completely sure when they added this, but they added a mode where you can like take over a troop and control them to the like where you're actually in the battle instead of just watching, and it adds like a whole nother level of depth to the game just because now you can actually go fight. But I don't remember it being announced anywhere. You kind of like look through the settings and see how to do it. And the weird thing was, it was like the button to do it is like linked to 2 things, so you really have to go out of your way to do it. And I don't know why they don't advertise it more, because it's a lot of fun. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator has been a titan for a minute now, so I'd be a little surprised if you haven't at least seen it before, but I'd definitely recommend giving it a shot. It also popularized the whole throwing like totally in front of your fake simulator game, so bonus points for that. And honestly, this is kind of one of the only like teams I've seen do the whole like make a joke game that can also stand up on its own, so it's definitely the go to this video. You should try it. So what did we learn during this video? Honestly, there's not a deeper thing here. Pretty much it's kind of just a gamble what you're going to get with these joke simulator games. But if you're with friends, you're probably going to have a good time. And that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. I'll probably see you in another 3 months.